I'm Health Coach Heather, and you are listening to episode 194. There are no accidents. You are listening to the Nourished Connections podcast, hosted by Health Coach Heather, master health coach and wellness educator specializing in family health. This show is about raising a strong, healthy, resilient family with confidence and courage in a confused world. So hang out with me each week to learn practical coaching tips, parenting advice, nutrition and exercise suggestions, and stress reducers to apply to your mental and physical well-being. Before we dive into this episode, I want to let you know that doors are officially open to my fall Whole Foods Reset. This is going to be a 7-day cleanse or detox for your body to really decrease inflammation in your body and in your brain so that you can feel your absolute best. And this time, I've included some extra goodies. A 2-day liver juice cleanse, which will kick off the detox, and then we'll go into the Whole Foods program. And you'll get 3 group coaching calls with me and 1 private coaching call with me. You guys, the value is incredible. I want you to go to the link in this podcast, get yourself signed up. We start October 9th. It goes through the 15th. Okay, October 9th through the 15th. You can also register at healthcoachheather.com. On with the show. All right, welcome back to the Nourished Connections podcast. I'm your host, Heather Mitchell, Health Coach Heather, and today we are going to talk about a topic that has been on my mind for a couple of weeks, and I've wanted to talk about it for a while, and it is called There Are No Accidents. What if you looked at your life and all the things that you think have gone wrong and are going wrong, and you thought, there are no accidents. There are no mistakes. How would you react then? Recently, a coworker of mine spilled something at the bakery. This thing was spilled in an odd location where she had to move stuff around just to clean it up. She wasn't happy about it. She made it known that she wasn't happy about it. All of a sudden, as she was cleaning, she looked down and found a recipe that had been missing, and no one could find it just a week prior. Had this spill not happened, there's no telling when we would have found this recipe. It was then that I said, Corey, this spill needed to happen, don't you see? It needed to happen so that we could find this recipe. Just the other day, there was another accident at the bakery where the floor completely flooded from the dishes in the sink. It seemed like everyone was complaining as mops were grabbed and people were frantically trying to get this water cleaned up. Someone remembered that we had a big floor cleaning machine tucked away in a corner, one I had never seen been used before. That was pulled out and used to mop this floor with so much more ease. The floor looked immaculate. We would have never had such a beautiful polished floor using a machine really none of us have ever used before had the accidental flood not happened. As I look back on my own life, at all the things I felt shouldn't have happened to me, I'm in complete awe at how those moments have brought me so much more personal growth and development of character that I wouldn't have had otherwise. Experiences such as losing a business and moving across the country to start a new life, cars breaking down and using the last bit of money to fix them or needing to ask for help, being, quote, ghosted by people you thought were really good friends and they're just gone, losing a loved one, getting sick, seeing a child struggle, running late to a meeting, missing out on a vacation or trip somewhere. Then there's the miscellaneous accidents, like stubbing a toe, getting a hangnail, burning yourself, accidentally cutting yourself, more spills, more messes, more miscommunications. All of these things brought on more pain than was actually necessary because of my own thoughts. Thoughts such as, why is this happening to me? And this isn't fair. These thoughts just brought on feelings of anger and frustration, which in turn brought me even more pain emotionally and physically. But guess what? I've changed. I started to adopt the mindset of there are no accidents. When something in my life isn't going the way I want it to go, I simply think this thought: there are no accidents. Then I wait. I wait to see the good that comes from each scenario that's placed in my path. Sometimes I see the good right away. In the case of the spill at the bakery, we had found that lost recipe right away. In the case of something more tragic, such as losing a business or starting a new life or losing a loved one dear to you, those things take more time to see the growth from. And that is why my next thought has been irreplaceable. And that is, timing is everything. You have to understand that in the moment you're going through something really hard, you must learn patience as you wait for the good to come out of it. Remember, I had to wait 17 years of marriage before I was able to realize my dream of being a homeowner. 17 years is a long time, my friends. But the real magic happened as I continued to live my life, set goals, accomplish them, work hard, and of course, make peace with the present life I had. That's where the growth and development came in. And when I was ready to take that magic to the next level, that's where I really began to take meditation, visualization, and tapping seriously. It was a practice I did every single day. Go back and listen to episode 183 of my podcast. It's entitled How I Manifested My Dream Home. And this is the way I manifest anything in my life that I want to happen now. And it seems to be working. It doesn't always work quickly, but instead of taking years, now it might just take months. But it's not instantaneous. However, sometimes when I'm feeling physical pain in my body, I can get rid of it instantaneously through energy work. I found that to be true. Have you ever been thinking about someone and all of a sudden your phone rings and it's them? Isn't that magical? Did you think that was a coincidence? In my research of energy and the brain, I've come to the conclusion that there are no coincidences either. Energy communicates subconsciously with energy. And once we know how to use it, that's when we start to see miracles happen in our lives. But the first step to really seeing this happen is to adopt the thought, there are no accidents. When you truly start believing there are no accidents, that's when you see miracles happen. And you'll adopt the next thought, God is in the details. When you start noticing God in the details of your life, yes, even a stubbed toe, that's when life gets really fun. You stop reacting to what you used to think were, quote, negative things happening to you. And you realize that there's really no negative thing that's ever happened to you at all. It's all happening for you. So then that becomes your new thought. This is happening for me. Or maybe you get curious and you say, I wonder how this is happening for me. You stay curious. You stay open. You stay flexible. But you don't get mad and you don't get frustrated. I don't want anyone to listen to this podcast and think that I'm downplaying real tragedies that people go through, such as car accidents that take people's lives, child trafficking, sexual abuse, not being able to get pregnant, abuse of any kind inflicted by another. These circumstances can feel like they'll break you, but they can also make you stronger, make you better, make you wiser with your own personal life decisions, if you'll let it. That's the key. There's so much growth that can even come from extreme tragedy if you'll let it. It's so beautiful when you can live your life this way. Your relationships will change. Your parenting will change. You'll develop greater patience for what's going on in your own life. And in turn, you're going to experience more peace. So let's recap the new thoughts you are to adapt from this moment on. Never again will you make yourself a victim. When someone is behaving in a way you don't like, never again will you speak badly about him or her. You will simply adopt one of these thoughts in any and every situation of your life. I wonder how this is happening for me. Timing is everything. God is in the details. And lastly, there are no accidents. Have a great weekend, my friends, and I will see you next week. Okay, listen up. Who out there has been listening to the podcast and has not yet rated and reviewed this podcast show? I would love it if you would go over to iTunes or Stitchers and give me a 5-star review. Your reviews help bump this podcast to the top of the charts. And that means more families who are looking to get healthy and to learn more about their mental health and how to fix that, they can find this podcast and we can help the world. Doesn't that sound amazing? So go over, give me a 5-star review. I really, really appreciate it. And do not forget that the 7-day Whole Foods Reset starts on October 9th. I would get my ticket now so you can get your supplies, get your downloads, and be ready to go October 9th. Go to healthcoachheather.com to learn more about that, or check the link in the description of this podcast.